I'm joyfully of service to all. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Emery John Frazier currently, and we're in episode 15, Meanings and Definitions. Somewhere along our journey, we come to the point where those definition and meanings just don't resonate with us anymore. And we feel like there's something we got to do about it because this just isn't working. So I came to the conclusion somewhere along my journey to change, alter, get rid of, remake my definitions and meanings in the way I chose them to be. So we're the director and the writer and the actor, the main actor in our movie. So let's take authority, let's say I am master, and create the reality we want by changing certain words, meanings, and definitions. So let's get started. First, I always like to talk about the word I am. So if you ever see me write it out, I most of the time put the I, the A, and the M all together. I don't separate I, am. Because to me, separation is the first illusion that we have as human beings. We, in general, think we're separate from the creation. So every time I write it and I put that I and the A together, it reminds me that I'm not separate from anything else, that we're all together. And so that's the first place. And the next thing I want to talk about is problem. I changed the definition of problem to opportunity. So now whenever I experience what most people call a problem, in my mind, I'm so trained, I automatically shifted to opportunity. What is the opportunity in the situation? Rather than saying, why is this problem happening to me? I say, this opportunity is happening for me. Let's see what we got next. Oh, here goes a good one. So we use words like they, them, other, and I'm still working on this one. This one is definitely a journey. Doesn't come right to you in the beginning. So I am working on, when I use those words they, them, other, is knowing that whatever I'm talking about is my reflection. So again, let's say I'm experiencing what some would call a problem with another person. I would say this opportunity is my reflection. So what can I learn from this person that seems in the third dimension to be somebody else, but I know in the grand scheme of everything that they're just my reflection, helping me learn something in this moment. And we got, here we go. So I made up this quote. It says, do not argue with your reflection. So let's go back to the example I just used. So you're having this experience with this other person that is your reflection, this opportunity. And for some reason, sometimes we get caught up in right and wrong and whose opinion is better than whose opinion. And I feel like if you go on social media or talk to most people, you can get into a conversation where it's just opinions and this person's wrong, and you'll get on a soapbox and just complain or say somebody else is wrong. Well, I guess that's complaining too. So why not just state your opinion on the subject and then look for the solution? Because the longer we just complain and argue that this shouldn't have happened, let's say we don't prefer people to be hungry in the world. Instead of complaining about how many people are so hungry and how there's so much food, we just throw it away and on and on and on, arguing with what is. That's what arguing with your reflection means. Whatever is. You cannot change what is until you accept it. So complaining about it is not accepting it. Once we accept it, then we can talk about the solution, which is far, in my opinion, more important. So releasing the argument, jumping into accepting what is, and then finding the solution. So that's what arguing with reflection means. Oh, here goes the easy one. Good and bad. I no longer use those words. Sometimes I use them when I'm trying to explain something to somebody and they don't understand my new definitions for the words. So whenever I can, I substitute negative and positive for good and bad. Negative is and positive are very simple meanings. Positive means to attract, bring together, and negative means to separate. So those are definitions for those words. And here's a very good understanding I've learned along my spiritual journey. Whenever we become aware of a problem, at the exact same time, the solution is also created. It's kind of the universe we live in. So if there's hot, there's cold. Some people call it duality. But once you become accepting, then you don't have to have the verse in the middle. You'll see that there is hot and cold, and one is not good or bad. They just are. And you become a lot more trusting, and you feel safe in your experience once we become aware that anytime a problem exists, we become aware of a problem, the opportunity exists at the same exact time. So we never have to worry about how. How's already taken care of. We just need to follow our heart once it's aligned with the brain. And here's one I've been using for a long time. I like to use the word racist whenever I'm being biased against another thing. So I used to have this racist thought against onions. I used to say, I hate onions, I don't know why anybody needs to eat them. Now what I do is focus on my preference. So now I'd say I don't prefer onions, but that does not mean onions are less or better than apples. I just prefer to eat apples. The reason I like the word racist is it stops me in my tracks. It's a very strong, powerful word. So anytime I have a biased opinion on something, anytime I'm trying to make my opinion more important than another person's, that clicks in my head and says, oh, hold on. Their opinion is just as valid as yours. So that's a very big one to come to terms with. No one needs to agree with this. And if they don't, they are not less than we are. Because that would create the first layer of separation. When somebody disagrees with us and we think they're less valuable, or their opinion is less valuable than ours. And here's one of my favorite ones. I made this one a long time ago. So I changed the definition of the word perfection and created this quote, basically. It's called perfectly perfecting perfection. So I am perfect, and everything I experience is happened perfectly, and this whole thing together is perfection. So I'm perfect, the experience is perfect, and the overall whole unit, the unity, is perfect. So that is my definition of perfect. I'm going to cut this into 2 parts to make it easier to digest. So one last thing I want to talk to you about. Me and some friends started a new organization that's all about feeding the hungry here in Portland, Oregon. If you would like to learn more about that, we have a Facebook. It is called I Am My Sister, I Am My Brother. All caps. Thank you for tuning in. I am joyfully of service to all, and I choose love. See you next time.